Hi, hello everyone. Um, I got some business I need to get out of the way real quick. So I'm going to go ahead and say my bit, say my piece, okay? And then we'll move on with today's conversation. So, first, um, I suppose since we had a conversation on this channel that greatly disturbed many, many people, uh, I thought I covered this yesterday, but apparently not. So, right here, right now, I want to say to Mike, because that is the person who deserves this. I am truly apologetic about that discussion. However, it needed to take place for someone else's healing, and I'm sorry that you got caught as a target in that. I have nothing against you. Uh, I have a lot of respect for you, Mike. So, that being said, we're going to move on to the next bit of business. And if my golden winged sister is listening, I want her to know that it sure feels like those shears were held in her hands. But that being said, I still have much love for you. And I miss you greatly. But this is your decision. And I will not try to alter your thinking in any way, shape, or form. It is completely your decision whether or not you'd still like to be my sister. Now, that being said, we have all on almost every channel discussed about how we are welcoming each and every one of you into our homes. And when we talk about this stuff, I take that stuff to heart because I literally am welcoming all of you into my living room and have been doing for some time now. Um, when I do that, I do it with open arms. I've never not done it with open arms, but I'm going to say this because I recognize that each and every one of us is opening our homes and our hearts to other people. This is why I will not go on someone else's channel, talk shit, poke a bear, stir anything up, or any of that. I intentionally will not do that because that is their home. This, however, is my home. And in my house, I get to talk about whatever comes up, or whatever I don't want to talk about, I do not have to talk about. So, putting that out there, um, if you come here and all you want to do is continue to stir shit when we are trying our very best to heal, come through these things, um, walk taller, be better people, and all you want to do is continue to stir things or leave comments that continue to stir things, and y'all know who you are. Um, I guarantee if you put a boot in this bear's butt, I will react accordingly. Now, I'm going to leave that alone. And we're going to talk about today's title, Ego Entanglement. Because part of this is tied up with that, isn't it? Our egos generate very low vibrations, very low vibe emotions. And when our egos do that, we tend to react instead of act. There is a difference between reacting and action. Okay. Um, when you are reacting, it is usually an egoic thing. It is not usually a spiritual thing. And I am very guilty of this because I am a human being. And from the time we are born, we are taught to live in a material world. We are taught to compare ourselves to things outside of ourselves, to other people, to other situations, and whatnot. Okay? I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do that. That's not how I want to live my life. I do not want to compare. I don't want to spend the rest of my life comparing me to somebody else because I'll never get to the truth of anything that way. Right? So, for me, leaving behind a lot of this distraction stuff, and I know you guys don't all like it when I call it distractions, but it is distractions, because my true purpose on earth is not to be so wrapped up in the news that I can't breathe right and I have to feel up and down and ride a roller coaster every day. That's not part of my life. I don't want it in my life. Part of my life is trying to be my best spiritual self, trying to live my best spiritual life, because from birth to death, we come from the source and we return to the source. And I don't know about you guys, but for me, is it not a worthy endeavor to try to reach source again while I'm here during my dash? So, anybody want to, Robert, you want to come up? And hey, Hen, how you doing? It's so good to see y'all. So I had to get all the stuff out of the way. Um, Listen, I do genuinely love y'all, and if that conversation um, hurt your feelings, I'm going to ask you to please ask yourself why it hurt your feelings. Okay? Um, because we can't help each other without knowing the truth and without facing our own truth, right? Um, we just can't. It doesn't work that way. Hey, how you guys doing?
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Hello.
Hi, Anna. Hi, Heather.
Hi. So,
What's up?
Crystal, yeah, you
The
can come
sun's
up.
up.
I'm going to say this. I got to say something real quick, you guys. Uh, Crystal, yes, you can come up. I wasn't not inviting you up, but I'm going to say this. I would like us to try to keep this upbeat because I don't want to keep being wrapped up in the sticky side of the web that is covered in goo. I want to raise above that as much as I can. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Wonderful. Lovely. And there's my
Keep
lovely husband.
Hey,
Hello.
Jeff. Hey,
Hello,
Robert.
everyone.
Hey, Anna. Hey, Hess.
Hello.
Hey, all out in the out on. I forgot the name of it now. Chat.
Who's this Jeff guy?
Chat.
The better half.
The only male right now in my house is my cat.
You R2D2'd for a minute.
Mhm.
I said, carry on. I'll be right back. I got a phone. Sorry.
Okay. How are y'all today?
Oh, enjoying the sunshine. It's beautiful out today. The snow is melting. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yeah. I got sun too. Beautiful
I
sun.
don't know much about no. My body does not do very well when it comes to cold weather.
You got to walk every day, man. You walk every day and you're out in it every day. It doesn't change. Except for where Anna is.
You know, you just don't know what to expect from day to day in this state.
20 below, it's hard to take a walk.
Yep. It was 38 in Florida last night.
Wow. Yeah, just get up off your butt and walk, man. That's what I got to do. I got to do it myself, man. I got to practice what I preach, really.
Well,
And then when the snow gets deep, we have to shovel a path so that the short-legged, teeny tiny little dogs can get
Yeah.
through the snow. Then you have a couple of them that go bounding through it like, "Woo, this is fun." And then all of a sudden they jump into a drift and disappear.
There's your exercise.
Yeah, a little black dog comes in looking like a big old snowball.
you got to walk and dig, huh?
It's pretty entertaining. I think she thinks she's a little snowplow.
That would
You got to
be
make
cute.
her an
See a little
attachment
bitty
for an
dog
outfit.
jump out there and just sink into the snow.
I don't know if Jeff and
Could
Heather
you even
got
make
snow.
little tiny snowshoes for dogs?
Yeah, we got a little bit.
No, that'd be so
Sorry.
Gone already, though?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's
Oh.
cool.
Pretty much. It was cold. That was cool.
I'll tell you what,
And then
you
the
get
heat
north
wave
of
came in.
you get north of Anna, the air turns Arctic, really.
There, you can see what it looks like now. It's melting. It's melting. Thank
Cool.
goodness it's melting.
I got a heater on my feet. If my
Winter
feet,
hasn't even started, and I'm happy the snow's melting.
I know.
Hey, honey, I just sent you a message.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Hi, Shepherd.
You know, since the first time I saw her name, I thought that was the coolest name, Shepherd Forest. I was like, it was all romantic and mystical and everything all rolled into one. And I was like, what a gorgeous name. I love that name. I didn't know if it was a boy or girl and had to ask her one night. But I just love that name. I thought it was great. I was like Camperman. I was like Camperman. Man, that's a cool name.
make you want to go camping.
That's right. That's right. Throw it in great outdoors. I'm gonna sit down for a few minutes. And then I'll be back.
You know what, Hen? That happens to me actually quite a lot. That's happened to me quite a bit. I've got my butt painted. Or I'll forget that I laid my palette right behind me, and then I'll throw my hair behind me and refix my ponytail or what have you, and I'll slide my hair right through my paint palette. That's always fun too. Hi, Patrick.
A cheap way of getting your hair color.
Good morning, Pappy.
I used to be the one that wanted to dye my hair and everything, and then I started thinking, I earned every one of these grays.
That's right. I could never come to terms with putting the chemicals on my head. I just couldn't do it. I was like, how many chemicals? And my brain resides in that part of my body? I don't think so. Whether it seeps through or not, it just wasn't my thing.
I've had my hair many colors.
I love seeing other people do it. It's just not for me. Give me 1 second, guys.
That's why I don't like painting. It's permanent.
Yeah.
And messy. Oh, my God.
No, I
You know, you
like
take those
painting because
butt prints
everything's all fresh and clean looking.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna say you take those butt prints and bounce them across the floor, and you'll have a really neat pattern that nobody else has. Oh,
Well, come on out, Anna. I got a whole cabin to restain. The whole thing. Everything.
You want to hear a funny story? When
Man.
my ex-husband and I were building our house, putting the siding up on it, we had to stain it all. He decides we're going to do it the certain day that we're going for family portraits. And he
Hey, Monty.
didn't get ready. Me and the girls got ready, and I had a nice white shirt on with a bunch of lace on it, real pretty. He goes to give me a hug before I leave, and he puts a big old hand stain of grease, or not grease, stain on the back of my white shirt. I think he thought I was going to stick around and work. It didn't work. I went and got pictures taken. I was like, well, at least they're not taking pictures of the backside.
Oh, Lord.
Funny, hun.
What a goofball.
We're gonna call Kaiku red wine now. She walks into the room and we'll just start singing it.
My cat last night, when I was on dangerous talking to them, my cat, I guess, wanted to be center of attention, so he sat up in my lap and just kept on looking at him, listening to him talk. What? I said he wanted to make a cameo appearance, I guess.
So, how do we come together and rise up above this sticky, nasty web of negativity and the energy? It still has a lot of people trapped in it. How do we help them? How do we give them a hand up out of this pit?
Trying to be the
How do we help
positive
ourselves out
energy
of it?
they're attracted to.
I have.
Go ahead.
I feel there's a lot of rift between our chats, and I swear that the devil is doing this to try to divide us.
We all know what's going on. We all
Yeah.
know what's going on. What I'm asking is for plausible solutions. Right? What can we do to lift each other up, to heal the wounds and the rifts, to heal the tears? What can we do to reconnect? Go ahead, Anna. I know you got something on your mind, hon.
Yeah.
Well, laughter is always a good medicine. My roommate's making sure I tell you that. Myself, I know that I'm misunderstood, so it would be probably good for me, like when I'm in chat and stuff, to make sure that I'm putting who I'm addressing my comments to, because I believe that some people have thought that I was sending messages to them when I wasn't. So,
listen, today's the day. If we want to clear the table, honey, go ahead and clear the table. It's okay.
Well,
you can do that here if you want to.
Well,
okay.
There's a very beautiful person that's been in many chats that I care about very much and think is a very wonderful person. And I responded back to a comment that was made by the people on the panel with a simple yes. And as I looked back in comments after she gave me a certain message, I was a little confused by it as to, well, then goodbye type of a comment. And I was like, then goodbye, because I was like, I didn't understand what the dilemma was until I looked back in chat and saw that they had made a comment. And when I said yes to a comment on panel, I think they took it personally, and I feel really bad about it. But I think for myself is trying to keep my comments addressed to whoever I'm trying to talk to would help a lot, because I think a lot gets misplaced in the comment section. If you can understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. And I would pose this question. How many times have misunderstandings led to terrible tragic events and separations? And that is us being wrapped up in this egoic part of our three-dimensional world. I think it's going to take time. And sometimes we don't realize what we do or what we've said or where we've slipped up until after it's done. Hindsight is always going to be a great teacher. And all we can do in that time of realizing is all we can do in that time of realizing it is try to make it right. Now, that doesn't mean it will always be right. It doesn't mean it will always be fixed. There are going to be some people who do not want to reconnect with you. Okay? There are going to be some people who have made up their mind and have gone their way, and that is that, and that is all. And that's okay, right? Because we all walk a different path. So that is okay. Now,
Ouch.
having said that, I think Pappy's got it right. There are people that love to roll around in the mud. They love to be in the mud. There are creatures that live in the mud happily for their whole lives, and that is their life. That's their whole life cycle, right?
Thanks.
Oh, there you go. B-Dog, that's a way to look at it. Yeah, we don't want to do the negative. But we are human, and there are going to be times when these energy fluctuations are going to affect each and every one of us. Okay, there are going to be times when somebody else's energy can infect the crowd, right? Both positively and negatively. So what I'm asking, I guess, is for each of us to look inside before we react. And this is myself included, guys. I'm not just, you know, I'm not trying to be a preacher here. I'm not trying to like put out a message I'm not willing to follow. I'm only putting out stuff that I've had to deal with myself here, because I can only speak from my own experience. Okay. So
I think yesterday you hit it right on the head when you brought up the human aspect of things, that we're all human. None of us are infallible,
Exactly. And we are, but we also have to be more understanding that each one of us is human. We all have to have that understanding, right? That we all are prone to these things. And the best we can do is try to reach above, try to aspect ourselves more spiritually, and so that we're living better from a place of love than we are from a place of pain or hurt or even just reaction to other people's energy.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, beautiful Ranny. How you doing?
Hi, Rena.
Hi, Rena.
Is that it? Is that all you wanted to say, honey?
I wanted to say hello.
Hey, love you. Have a good day. I think it makes the panel in the chat smile when we can see your beautiful face.
Yes. Do you want to tell them that?
Yeah.
Okay, you can tell them that.
So a few days ago, I learned how to play a new song on my keyboard, and the song's called "Fading."
Fading or faded?
Fading.
Oh, cool.
Cool.
You want to go get it and play it for us?
Yeah.
I think music uplifts everyone.
Yes,
You
it does.
betcha. Especially from a little girl.
That's right.
When I get in a stress mood or anything like that, I put on my headphones, close my eyes, and just listen to the music, and I calm down.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys
All
a
right.
little winter burrower.
Let me just turn the volume a little bit.
Oh, there's little
Oh, how
Sage.
cute.
All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna turn off the camera one second. You can play it again? Play it again so they can. Can you guys hear it?
Yes, ma'am, I can. That was beautiful.
Good. You can
Somebody's musically talented.
Awesome.
And there's something I noticed. There's something I noticed whenever I was playing it. I only did it with 4 keys, like from the actual song.
A whole song
Cool.
with 4 notes.
It's pretty.
Girl.
Yes, it is.
And the song's really only 31 seconds.
You know, you can add to it, right?
Yeah.
Nobody owns those 4 keys. You can put them in any order you want to. Make your own song.
Actually, it's one of the FNF songs.
Did you hear me?
The,
Nobody owns those notes, though. You can rearrange those notes and the timing and everything all the way you want to and make your own song.
I labeled them earlier, but pencil came off. So this is the left key, the up key, down, and then right.
I love you.
Which that is one of the songs.
I
You're
like it.
welcome, Dad. And hello, Pappy.
Thank you, Raina.
Yeah, thank you, Raina.
The song is from a game called Friday Night Funkin', but the abbreviation for the game is FNF. And it's from one of the modded songs on the game. And the reason why it's called Fading is because there's this one guy named Garcello, and after he dies, the sun starts coming up, and that's when he fades away. That's why the song is called Fading. And whenever I watch the video, I start to cry.
Oh,
Moves
that just
you right to
means you
tears.
got a beautiful heart.
Because Garcello is one of my favorite characters.
I was learning to play the piano. My mama put me in it. Her friend's daughter was giving it to me for free, and it actually was supposed to be helping me with my math. I don't know how, but my mom fell and broke her leg, so my dad wasn't able to take me because he was working, and he also, when he got home, was helping with mom too. So I was learning to play Evergreen, whatever it was, a Christmas song.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I wouldn't know what I was doing now. Now my mama could play church music, you know, out of the hymns and stuff.
Mm-hmm. I think music does a lot of soothing for the soul, doesn't it?
Yes.
Hey, Nathan, good to see you. She really enjoys coming out and saying hi to everybody and sharing with you guys. And I really think that's lovely. That it lifts her up too. You know?
Yeah, it lifts us up too, seeing her beautiful face. Makes everybody smile.
She's my little bright light. She's what I want to be a better person. She's part of the reason that I want to be a better person. She's not my only reason, but she is a big part of it. And You know, I don't fall in with a lot of the do as I say, not as I do shit. I try to live as an example for her, but she also, let me tell you, that 10-year-old has a better understanding of the human condition than most adults I know.
Well, look who she comes from.
Um,
Y'all instill that in her.
but children, all children, they children love unconditionally,
Yeah.
right? Up until the world has taken them over, children see things through eyes of wonder, through the creator, through the source. They're closer to the source because they just came from there. And so when we talk about lifting ourselves up, part of that is having to, we all have an inner child, and we all have to take care of that part of ourselves, because that is the part of your soul that always retains that source, uh, innocence and intelligence, you know. And then I think it's really important that we nurture that part of us. And that doesn't mean, go have slumber parties and roller rinks. And, that's not what that means. It means to reconnect with that sense of wonderment, that unconditional love that children will give you, right? Just because you're their parent. Um, I think that is taken for granted a lot. And especially in our day and age, because, everybody's got advice on how to be good parents, and no, I'm not knocking anybody else's parenting style. Like I said, I can only talk from my own experience, because I have adult children who I did not get to raise, and I got to raise them for a little bit of their life, but I was in that whole, this is what you're supposed to do because this is what parents do, and until I had Raina, I didn't get it. I didn't get that there was a different way, so it's been time and struggle and trial and error, which is quite frankly how most of us get to where we are, right? Um, but Jeff and I realized from before she was even born that we didn't ever want to dim her light, right? We didn't ever want to dim her light. We didn't want to make her conform to somebody else's um, mold, because that's not what we're here for. That's, how Bonnie always used to tell us the story about her daughter saying that she chose her, the I love you more story. I love that story. It always just about brings me to tears because it's so moving. Um, Hold on a second, guys.
Short intermission already?
Sorry, little bit was asking me something.
Smells good.
Okay. So, anyway, so how she always tells us that story? Um, but it's such a moving story, and it's something to really truly keep in mind, because when you're blessed with a child, your job as a parent is to help them be the best, to turn them into the best person that they can become, right? I mean, we've been trained out of the beauty of that. As a society, we've been trained out of the beauty of that. And I think a lot of people are actually coming back into it and saying, No, no more. No, you cannot mold my child into something other than what he or she is. Ooh, Nathan's excited. I think he's. Are you on the move, Nathan? It's good to see you back in here. I haven't seen you in a while. Sorry, guys, not to be off topic, but
Just be careful, Nathan. Have a safe trip.
absolutely. We'll be thinking of you.
Well, the only trip I see in my future is if I fall over something.
Yeah, well, don't do that either. But if you
Oh
do,
no.
pick yourself up, dust yourself off. I think that's what I'm in the process of doing right now is picking myself up, dusting myself off, trying to move forward. And I got to say this one more time, you guys. Bonnie, if you're listening, I still see you.
Hey, Lisa. Well, I adopted my dog out today. No, I didn't adopt him.
So you got a dog or you gave a dog away?
I had to give my dog away because after my ex fiance now left, I can't afford to take care of him, and I didn't want to keep him and not be able to take care of him, so I adopted him out, and I'm glad. A dog was just a little too much for me by myself.
All right, you ready? You guys ready?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
I got this reading here. I want to read about what we're doing, what we're gonna do, like it or not. It's called animal medicine. To understand the concept of medicine in the Native American way, one must redefine medicine. The medicine referred to in this book is anything that improves one's connection to the great mystery and all life. This would include the healing of mind, body, and spirit. This medicine is also anything that brings personal power, strength, and understanding. It is the constant living of life in a way that brings healing to the Earth Mother and to all of her associates, family, friends, and fellow creatures. Native American medicine is an all encompassing way of life, for it involves walking on the Earth Mother in perfect harmony with the universe. Our fellow creatures, the animals, exhibit habit patterns that will relay these messages of healing to anyone astute enough to obtain their lessons on how to live. The precious gifts of true medicine are free. Each lesson is based on one major idea or concept, and for the sake of simplicity, each animal has been assigned one of these lessons. In reality, each animal in creation has hundreds of lessons to impart, and all of those lessons are powers that can be called upon. When you call upon the power of an animal, you are asking to be drawn into the complete harmony with the strength of that creature's essence. Gaining understanding from these brothers and sisters of the animal kingdom is a healing process and must be approached with humility and intuitiveness. Certain aspects of the lessons given by these brothers and sisters have been chosen to reflect the lessons each spirit needs to learn on the good red road. There are the lessons of being human, being vulnerable, and seeking wholeness with all that is. There are a, they are a part of the pathway to power. The power lies in the wisdom and understanding of one's role in the great mystery and in honoring every living thing as a teacher. The lessons are taught are eternal, and they are forever forthcoming. If the learning is over, so is the magic and the life. The system of division, the system of divination is one tiny aspect of the process of teaching a person how to be intuitive, how to seek the truths of nature, how to relate to the great mysteries creatures, and to how to observe the obvious in silence. The silence of the quiet mind is the sacred fertility of receiving spirit. If you use this divination tool in silence, you will find a wondrous new world speaking to you through the ways of our fellow creatures. It is possible to find animals that speak to you in a particular way, the way of power. These creatures may carry special medicine for you and will call you to in the dream time. These creatures may carry special medicine for you and will call to you in the dream time if you are to study them more closely. Your power ally is a certain species which you have recognized an important connection. The species becomes your teacher, with whom you allow yourself to grow and learn. Nothing can replace nothing can replace the observation of these creatures in their natural habits. For this concept, you will let's see, nothing can replace the observations of these creatures in their natural habitats. For this connects you with the earth.
You okay?
Yeah. Where are we here?
Wow. That was a
Okay. These creatures may carry special medicine for you and will call you in dream time if you are to study them more closely. Your power ally is a certain species with which you have recognized an important connection. These species become your teacher, with whom you allow yourself to grow and learn. Nothing can replace the observation of these creatures in their natural habitats, but this connects you with the earth, the animal, and the great mystery. The spirit of power ally may choose at times to enter the consciousness of one who has walked the medicine way for many years and align itself to aid in healings. This is part of the initiation process of animal medicine and brings great power to the healer. In learning to call on medicine of any person, creature, or natural force, one must maintain an attitude of reverence and be willing to accept assistance. For instance, small native children know that they are lost. They may call on the medicine of their parents. This brings the child to the strength of the parents, even though they are not physically present. The parents will feel the pull of the child's need, and often it will be able to see physically through the eyes of their child and determine its location. This is a kind of power that comes with the idea of unity and of each being having its within itself a part of all other beings. It is the law of oneness. It is also possible to call upon the power of medicine of an animal which one is in need of specific talents. As all things in this universe have the same building block, the atom, it is relatively safe to assume that we all communicate through common denominator of each atom, which is the creative force of great spirit that lives within the great mystery. It is the teaching of these truths that has brought native people to the understanding, and it is these same truths that may open this door for you. It's all about your mind, body, and spirit, and to be one.
wow. And I've never heard you read that before.
This is out of the this is out of the book. This isn't a card.
Yeah, but still it's so relevant to It's what we
Saw that. I saw it. It just felt it needed to be read. So people have an understanding what we're here for. We're not here to play games. We're not here to bash people, bash channels, or nothing. We're here to help
Hi,
everybody
Brenda.
heal.
Yes. Then that is exactly what we've been trying to do. And we all have our setbacks, but we're trying to get right back on that track. Or on a new track. Who knows where the day leads us.
Yep.
How you doing, Dorinda?
I'm doing okay. I'm fighting with my new watch. I'm trying to make it start. I had to go out today and deliver packages so people could do their crafts with me, probably on the weekend. Had to go get smokes and that. I had to borrow someone's car because mine wouldn't start.
Dang.
And the
Fun
other,
times. Fun times.
yeah, and the other day I was doing my laundry and my dryer died. So yesterday they brought a new dryer to me, but today I have to fix the backup and hook it up and everything. So I'll be doing that when I get off of here. Busy, busy, busy. Glad to see everybody.
Hey,
It's good to
Dorinda.
see you too.
Hi,
Good
Crystal.
to see you,
Hi,
Dorinda.
Robert. Hi, Anna. And hello, Heather.
Hello.
Nathan, Deplorable Chicken, Garrett, NC Girl, Pappy, Deplorable Chicken, Shepherd, and Lisa. Oh, and the Full Monty. Sorry, I
Hey,
didn't see you.
Monty.
Hello, all you lovely people.
I like the
Hello.
dog. Is that your dog?
That was my first American Bulldog I had.
Oh, he's beautiful. So how are you today, Full Monty?
I'm fine. I just woke up just a little while ago.
Need some coffee then. Eh?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You recovered from this weekend?
No.
Takes you all week to get recovered, and then it hits again, huh?
So here's my coffee cup.
I like it.
That's just one of
Yeah,
them.
it looks about like my size.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's a 32 ounce. I don't know. It needs to be bigger. It needs to be like or a coffee IV bag or something.
A coffee I'll be back.
No,
Ain't too much of
an
coffee.
Hey,
IV, not colostomy bag, an IV. The works just coffee's plugged directly into you.
So, what do you guys think about what Robert just read off for us? So in tune with the way all the energies have been changing lately.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like
I
a
just
roller
now got it.
coaster, up and down, up and down.
I think the part that stood out to me best was the example of the living in unity and how we do feel each other's pain. We do feel each other's sadness and woes, but we also feel each other's joys. Have I gone completely awry here?
No.
No, I understand
Our
completely.
energy affects each other.
Yep.
Yes. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm not more awake. I caught in on the very tail end of what Robert was reading, and
Well,
I didn't get to hear everything, but it sounded very, very awesome and beautiful. So, I think I heard maybe the very last minute and a half or something like that. I don't know. When I clicked into YouTube, I didn't even get a notification on my phone. Oh,
That's happening with a lot of folks and a lot of
ow.
channels. On a lot of channels. So,
I got to mute myself. I'm having a muscle spasm in my back.
okay.
Every 5
Ouch.
nighttime.
Notifications have been messed up on a lot of mine too.
Yeah.
Mine too. And my phone acting stupid.
Well, if
Hold on, I had
the
to put
people that
phone
you
in.
like to watch come on at a regular time, just go be there at a regular time.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys remember that thing that Pappy read the other day about truth?
Yep.
Having it doesn't care what you think about it. Oh, look, and there's the man now. The man. How you
Hey,
doing,
Pappy.
Oh, we love you too, Nathan.
Love you,
Robert,
Nathan.
did you read it?
Hello,
Did you read what-
hello.
Hello,
Sorry.
hello.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Eh?
Hello.
Hello, that
How,
voice.
how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing well today. I take it that you're all feeling it, huh?
Oh yeah, change coming. Big change.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting. I've been sitting here listening while I was doing some other stuff, not the least of which is 2 gallons of bean soup on the stove that I have to tend. But and I'm not kidding, 2 gallons. But anyways, I liked what you read there, Robert. I've read that myself, so there's a lot of information in there about how things can be applied, and if people look at it, they can grab some real nuggets of profound wisdom when they apply it to their own lives.
Right.
But with all this stuff that's going on and all these different energy fluxes and everything, of course, it always gets me scratching my head a little bit. I says, I think I've read something about that before. So I went back into my files and I found 2 things that I think are pertinent to what is going on now. Okay. Now we always know that hindsight is 2020 when we look back at it, don't we?
Yes,
So this is the first thing I'm going to read you is a posting that I put over a year ago, probably October 20. I think it was October. So let me read it to you. And then I'm going to read to you a waking vision that I had and see how it applies to our life today. Waking vision that I had in January. So, and I had not discussed this with anybody at all. So the first one is this. And I titled this, The Times We Are In. Now, I wrote this back on the 13th of October in 2020. And it is still valid today. I have felt for a period of the last few years a feeling of being on the cusp of great changes energetically, spiritually, and physically, and that these times are further validation that the process has entered the quickening phase. Once the threshold is breached soon, there will be a sudden tipping or spilling into the new paradigm we will find ourselves in. Some will be lost and not make that transition. Others, of all types of people, will band together to hold the matrix of light until it stabilizes once again. The relocation of the people is part of this process, I feel. And I think that relocation is not only physical, but mental, emotional, and spiritual. I think and feel that there will be physical changes to the earth plate structure as it responds to the energy change. Living in mutual respect and energetic harmonious resonance, or love, with each other will become critical through the birthing time. This cycle is not abnormal by any means. With each death of something, there is a birthing of something new. The spiritual light energy does not die. It changes in form to conform to the new reality. We must strive to keep ourselves aligned to the highest spiritual vibration we can so that we can transition as smoothly as possible. It's an exciting time to be part of creation when we look at it this way. Your strength and your faith of Creator's divine plan and your acceptance of your part in it will be an anchor to hold fast as we ride the tides of change.
Beautiful.
Now, went to that.
You
I had a vision that kind of puts it in context. And if you listen to what Robert had said before, you'll see a couple of comments that I made in this vision, the way it came to me. Actually, it came to me as a statement. Okay, and I'll take whatever assistance I can on your interpretations of what this means. I've been mulling this over for almost a year now. Okay, and I've seen it in action. And this is the statement that came to me. When the red dragon flies over the nation's skies, the eagle takes flight to the fight. Tumultuous times will rend people's hearts, but awaken the righteous might, the dragon for all to see at last. Don't ask me where it came from. I just listened
Happy,
to
can
it.
you read that one more time?
Yeah, I guess I can. I'll have to pull it back up again because I just blurped it out.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
No, that's okay. I figured I said it once, and let me see. Let me find it here. Signs we are in. I've got so many things in here.
A good teacher always does.
Well, you know, when I have these thoughts, you know how some people have journals and stuff like that. I'll jot them down and I'll put them in WordPad and stick them in my files. You know, but they have no rhyme or reason. It's the way they're put together, kind of like my brain cells.
Yeah, I think those are the best brains that work, cyclically.
Okay, I'm going to read this again, and I'll give you some context as to how it meant to me. Okay, but this is the way that it came to me, and I've got this in quotations. So this is the best that I can remember how it came to me. When the red dragon flies over the nation's skies, nations as in plural, the eagle takes flight to the fight. Tumultuous times will rend people's hearts, but awaken the righteous might, the dragon for all to see at last.
You have a good one now.
Okay, so what are anybody have any feelings on that?
Why can't I hear you?
Hear you, honey. Okay. Sorry, guys.
So my interpretation of that is when you say the red dragon's flying over the nations, like the red wave is how I'm interpreting that. If I don't really want to say the country, and then you say the eagle takes the fight to it. The eagle representing the United States.
Maybe not necessarily the United States.
Right.
Well, I understand what you're saying.
Am I misconstruing
glance,
that?
I think we can see it that way.
Right.
Well, Monty, I don't think so. And the reason I say that is because initially that was my thinking, because at that time there was all the hubbub about China,
right.
And all that sort of stuff in the news. Okay. However, in retrospect, I'm putting it in more of a spiritual context now. Okay, because of the two different types of energies that are represented by the two winged creatures. And I see it more as a spiritual battle that really took flight this year. And the reason that I say that is, and I'm going to put myself out here because I have not discussed this before in any public forum. When I was quite young, I had a lucid dream. While I was sleeping in my bedroom, I was probably an adolescent, maybe preteen, and I had a dream that I rolled over in my bed, and there was an opening in the wall, and that opening led into a big cave. And in that big cave, there was a large dragon and a huge bear, and they were fighting. And before I woke up, I knew that they were fighting over me. And I took that to be two different, later in life, I took that to be two different energies that were battling over who was going to control me, who was going to have dominion over me, the dragon energy or the bear energy. Now, as you know, the bear energy in me is a strong healing symbol. So that now puts it in context of what this latest vision is telling me.
Go ahead, Monty.
So is that kind of like what we've talked about before, like in the Native American thing, where it's the white wolf and the black wolf, and it depends on which one you feed? Is that something similar? I mean,
I would think in the background, I'm hoping that I starved that dragon out pretty good. Yeah.
but that's what I was wondering. I mean, yeah.
You know, as a bigger picture as well, I think we may consider, because both of those are very prominent astrological signs in our skies, right? Major Ursa Major, the giant bear. And there is a dragon constellation, depending on whose astrological chart you look at. But Pappy, wow. What a dream.
Well, you know, both of those animals in that particular statement that I received are both considered to be, as Celtic pointed out, wisdom.
Yes.
Wisdom used in different ways. Okay, wisdom applied in different ways. Okay, but the red color indicates fire. Okay, which indicates more of a more violent, a more tumultuous sort of energy, where the eagle in the native culture is that which flies highest and closest to spirit. That's why it's revered so much, you know. And so the eagle takes flight to fight, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm it's probably still playing out. You
Well,
know,
and even
I'm certainly no Nostradamus, so
no, but you make a very good point, Pappy, because even in times ancient, back in Samaria and ancient Egypt, the eagle has always represented the warlike mind, right? For good or bad. I mean, because we all know that man has used it for both. But wow. It yeah.
Well, the dragon has the symbols of change, vitality, majesty, and longevity, where the eagle is loyalty, devotion, freedom, truth, and honor. So, and it also brings foresight to the psychic awareness. I wonder if there's a connection there of like waking, battling, the difference between the two, and what would come to be higher understanding, rising above, putting behind and conquering that which might be detrimental to us. I don't know. That's just my thought.
Well, I think it's pretty good thoughts.
That's an excellent thought, Anna.
You know, because it opens up the next thing that I was going to talk about. Okay, and that is that these two archetypes that we talked about here in this particular thing both have powers, both have capabilities, both have expressions of themselves which are noble. Okay, now, like anything, anyone that it gets ready to jump into the power, that medicine needs to go first off to the looks within place and examine their intent of how it's going to be used. And therein lies the difference in the expression of the powers. The powers could be equal, but the intent is not. And thence you have the conflict. So how do you marry the powers of eagle and dragon, fire and wind, earth and water, so that they're in harmonious relationship, so that the powers are working in harmony rather than in conflict? And there's the
Center
big
them around
issue
spirit.
that we're in today. Okay, one is getting fed more than the other. One is getting fed fear and, you know, disinformation and untruths. Okay, and the other is getting fed hopium, and all it's doing is sending them further and further apart.
Exactly.
And they should be coming together. We all understand that they should be coming together, you know, but we're only human. So the question is how? Well, we can only do that on our own individual thinking. If this is a spiritual battle, we have to call in the spiritual warriors to assist us in fighting it, for sure.
I was just thinking, Pappy, the way your story went, did you say you were like in a cave?
Well,
When these things approached you, they basically approached you in your safe place.
no, actually, I was in my bedroom.
Okay. Well, that's your safe
And
place.
I thought that I was dreaming, because I rolled over, and when I rolled over, I would be facing the wall of my bedroom. And behind that wall, there was a small crawl space attic that went the whole length of the house. But it's like there was an opening in the wall, and that opening led into a cave. And in that cave was this huge bear, and I do mean huge, and this huge iridescent green dragon. I mean, I could see the light shining off the scales and everything. I could see the light glinting in the bear's eyes, and they were in a struggle, you know. And literally, you know, I knew inside the struggle was over me. So was it a dream? I don't know. Maybe I was doing an out of body thing, but I know one thing. it scared me enough that I woke up and then realized that I was, was dreaming or had been someplace else anyways.
I think in this information cycle that we're in, where there's good versus evil, there's lies, there's deceiving, and a lot of things going on that are being done in a way to affect our psyche. We're kind of caught up in a whirlwind of emotions and trying to understand what the truth is, but our own truth is in ourselves. We can't bury our heads in the sand and completely not pay attention, because we need to be aware of our surroundings and what's going on. But that spiritual battle, we have to keep rooted in our love for ourselves above all things, because that's the only, in your own little spot, that's the only truth and reality that we have, that is ground based, that we know is factual, real, what is going on in our own little private spot. And we bring in all of these different informations, these moods, these energies through our devices and everything, trying to find out what's going on when we know there's something really bad going on. And we're waiting for it to turn around, and we're all looking for someone to reach out to that's in the same vibe that we are, that in that same spot where we want truth, we want to see something change. And if you put that in the aspect of like the eagle flying, the eagle is keeping an eye over things. The eagle is always scanning and looking, watching, always watching. Then you had the bear in its own space being aggressively overtaken by this and having to fight this bad fire breathing, where in my mind I'm thinking of the fire breathing as kind of the hot air that everybody's blowing at us, all this baloney that they're trying to brainwash us with and trying to make us fear. I don't know. I think it's a good, what you dreamt a year ago is basically what's been going on. A little bit of a analogy, figuring out the meaning of each of those critters that's involved. It's like the different nations, the different things going on. You have your good, your bad, your evil. You have your, I don't even know where to go with it. I feel like that's what's overwhelming me a lot of times, is just the baloney, the bullshit, and I have to keep myself grounded where I'm at.
Well, I want to take you to the next step that I haven't discussed yet. Okay, before I do that, I want to acknowledge. Hi, Bridget. I see you come in, and Gigi joined us. Hello, hello. The next step that I haven't discussed with you yet is that, and you've touched on it already. Celtic's been talking about it in chat. You've all mentioned it in your discourse with me so far. Okay. You've heard me talk about both sides of the spider web. Okay, on everything. There's two sides of everything. A mirror can show a reflection of yourself, or serve to reflect something back on somebody else. Okay, so we know that there are two sides, and it was mentioned earlier that both of these symbols have their own power. Okay, both of these symbols have the ability to overpower another depending upon which one is fed the most. We know that. Okay. So during this last year, and in a lot of my interactions that I've had in discussions with you up on chat, and some of you in private and stuff like that, I'm hoping that you're getting the gist that I have started to learn to walk on both sides of the web, back and forth, go through the openings of the web. So the comment that both powers were made to be brought into a mutual understanding of use is probably coming to fruition in my thinking for myself. Okay. I just have to be careful about the diet that I feed these things. Right? So I'm able to see from both sides of the web now, because I can travel back and forth to it and try to, keep my, I keep telling everybody that you have a foot in two worlds. And when I travel through the web and travel through one of the openings of the web, I've always got a foot still anchoring me on the other side. So these things that are coming up in the world today are being offered to each of you to be able to do the same thing. To take all this negative energy that's out there and all this positive energy out there and to coalesce it in such a way that it brings to you the agility that you need. You, not somebody else. Somebody else is not your responsibility. And you are not somebody else's responsibility, but you, to be able to walk both sides of your personal web. Now, where this energy goes collectively depends on the number of individuals that learn to walk both sides of the web. The important thing during this time is that the web is being shook by strong winds, turbulent tides, the chance of fire, lightning striking it, or whatever. That's the web we're on right now. So you have to hold on tight to the web and still figure out and maneuver the web. And that's what I'm getting from all of this and why I kind of brought this together, because I see all of us making that trip individually, but all of us making the trip together. There are people falling completely off their webs and they're lost. If they don't have a tether like a spider does back to where their web is, they're not going to be able to reel themselves in. They're going to be free floating. You're not going to be able to save those people. That would mean you would have to jump off your web to go into space to try to bring them back.
Perfectly said.
So that's the times we're in. So expect to see that. You're going to see people on your web, and then you're not going to see them. You're going to be walking what you feel is a lonely web, and all of a sudden you're going to see lots of people. That's the times we're in. Because you're seeing with a new awareness. You're experiencing with a new awareness. Your progress over the last 2 years. It's actually started a little bit before that I felt these changes coming. But over the last 2 years, your progress, your bell curve of learning has really gotten steep. And it's taking some of your breath away. But hold on. Hold on. You can do it.
Yes, we can.
I, for one, have no words for that. I'm going to digest it for a bit.
That was a wow moment.
Well, I mean, we all kind of have that. We have a hard time giving things away out of our gathering basket, don't we? Sometimes.
Yep.
Even though things are simply things, right? And they're not ours. They weren't ours to start with, and they won't be ours once we're gone. They're simply borrowed. Can we rehash the quickening, please? Pappy, you have a request.
I love y'all.
Love you too, more.
And I'm going to comment this. And just know that it's not to be taken in any way bad shape or form. So yeah, give it 5 seconds, it'll show up on our side. Everybody see my comment?
Are you copying me?
No.
I know you're not, but I said the same thing a few moments ago.
but I well, I was trying to figure out how to word it. So thank you.
No, it's, there are a lot of synchronicities, and there are a lot of differentiating things as well. And I think what Pappy said makes a lot of sense about, we are walking on our own web. And as our perception changes, as our vision changes, so too does our ability to see things that we hadn't seen before. So the people that we find and the people that we come across in our journeys have been there all along. We just weren't in a place yet where we could see them. Maybe they were too far off in the distance, or maybe we were just blind, right? We all do wear our blinders. We all have blinders from a different company, and we choose to blind certain things out of our lives. There's nothing wrong with that per se, but because there are going to be times in your life where your spirit will tell you that you do not want to intentionally let yourself be drugged down to a certain vibrational level or what have you, because it's not good for your center, yourself. I'm going to keep trying to float on down this river. I don't want to hit any more rapids anytime soon, though.
Keep paddling, keep paddling.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's discuss the quickening phase. What does the term quickening bring to your mind when somebody says that? What do you think it means? Anybody? That's not a rhetorical question. I'm actually looking for answers.
Well, a time of quickening would be when, for my understanding of it, would be like the, I don't know the right way to say it, but like kind of the collision of energies. A quickening is, to me, would be the convergence of the energies. When, I don't know, I don't see time like everybody else does either. So that's a hard one to really.
Let me put it in
out.
you know how I like to paint word pictures.
I
Okay.
do.
At what point does gravy become gravy and not soup and not a lump? Okay, if you think of the quickening as making gravy, and you start out with your stock, and you have to have that stock at a certain temperature when you add your thickener to it. Okay, and it has to be stirred and tended as that thickener does its job. And at some point, it tells you it's gravy, and you turn the heat off and you stop the stirring, and it's gravy. If it goes too far or it's not stirred enough, it's still edible, but it's not gravy. And that's kind of the way that I look at quickening when it comes to this transition of going from one to the other. Things have to be in a sequence. Things have to be done simultaneously. Things have to come together. The pieces have to show up before the picture starts to develop. And when the picture is there, you pull it out of the developer and you have the photo you want. Okay. That's the quickening process. So with that in mind, I'll go back to read again about the times that we're in. Now, granted, this is over a year old since I've written this, but I think you'll probably still see the relevance. And I felt for a period of the last few years the feeling of being on the cusp of great changes energetically, spiritually, and physically. And that these times are further validation that the process has entered the quickening phase. Once the threshold is breached soon, there will be a sudden tipping or spilling into the new paradigm we'll find ourselves in. Some will be lost and not make the transition. Others, of all types of peoples, will band together to hold the matrix of light until it stabilizes once again. The relocation of the people is part of this process, I feel. I think and feel that there will be physical changes to the earth plate structure as it responds to the energy change. Living in mutual respect and energetic harmonious resonance or love with each other will become critical through the birthing time. This cycle is not abnormal by any means. With each death of something, there is a birthing of something new. The spiritual light energy does not die. It changes in form to conform to the new reality. We must strive to keep ourselves aligned to the highest spiritual vibration we can so that we can transition as smoothly as possible. Oh, it is an exciting time to be part of creation when we look at it this way. Your strength and your faith of Creator's divine plan and your acceptance of your part in it will be the anchor to hold fast to as we ride the tides of change.
Pappy, is that dog creating a little destruction there?
No, that dog is just telling me he wants to eat the cat food.
That's funny. Bye, Celtic.
I hear somebody's countdown timer going off.
Sounds like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, it's Jeff.
That's my honey.
Sorry about that. I forgot to mute. My bad.
Oh, no, that's okay.
Getting the nail. Ding around the car.
Oh, done made me dog hungry. Talking
My
about
buddy
gravy.
Yeah, that's the feed me bell. Yeah.
Bo heard that.
We'll let him in the kitchen.
Here we got dogs that like gravy here too.
So I got since we're on the subject, right? I want to read the eagle. Eagle, fly high, touch great spirit, share your medicine, teach me, honor me, so that I may know you too. Eagle medicine is the power of the great spirit, the connection to the divine. It is the ability to live in the realm of spirit and yet remain connected and balanced within the realm of earth. Eagle soars and is quick to observe expansiveness within the overall pattern of life. From the heights of the clouds, eagle is close to the heavens where the great spirit dwells. The feathers of eagle are considered to be the most sacred of healing tools. They have been used for centuries by shamans to cleanse the auras of patients coming to them for healing. Within the belief systems of Native American tribes, eagle represents a state of grace achieved through hard work, understanding, and completion of the tests of initiation, which result in taking one's personal power. It is only through the trial of experiencing the lows in life as well as the highs, and through the trial of trusting one's connection to the Great Spirit, that the right to use the essence of eagle medicine is earned. If, if you have pulled this symbol, eagle is reminding you to take heart, gather your courage, for the universe is presenting you with an opportunity to soar above the mundane levels of your life. The power of recognizing this opportunity may come in the form of a spiritual test. In being astute, you may recognize the places within your soul, personality, emotions, or psyche that needs bolstering or refinement. By looking at the overall tapestry, Eagle teaches you to broaden your sense of self beyond the horizon of what is presently visible. In learning to fiercely attack your personal fear of the unknown, in learning to fiercely attack your personal fear of the unknown, the wings of your soul will be supported by the ever present breezes, which are the breath of the Great Spirit. Feed your body more, feed your body. More importantly, feed your soul. Within the realm of Mother Earth and Father Sky, the dance that leads to flight involves the conquering of fear and the willingness to join an adventure that you are co-creating with the divine. If Eagle has majestically soared into your cards, you are being put on notice to reconnect with the element of air. Air is the mental plane, and in this instance, it is of the higher mind. Wisdom comes in many strange and curious forms, and is always related to the creative force of the Great Spirit. If you have been walking in the shadows of former realities, Eagle brings illumination. Eagle teaches you to look higher and to touch grandfather's son with your heart, to love the shadow as well as the light. See the beauty in both, and you will take flight like the eagle. Eagle medicine is a gift we give ourselves to remind us of the freedom of the skies. Eagle asks you to give yourself permission to legalize freedom and to follow the joy your heart desires. In the contrary, if you have pulled Eagle in reverse, you have forgotten your power and connectiveness to the Great Spirit. You may have failed to recognize the light that is always available for those who seek illumination. Heal your broken wings with love. Loving yourself as you are loved by the Great Spirit is the lesson which is the contrary Eagle brings. On some level, Eagle is telling you to seek higher ground on which to build your nest. The nest is the home of the heart and cannot remain in a swamp. If your nest is in the swamp, this may be connected to your belief that your wings are clipped by an impossibility in your present status. Eagle's nest is high in the mountains where the air is clean and the movement is free. It may be your time for a vision quest so that you may commune with the Great Spirit. Fasting and praying will surely bring an answer. Seek lofty ideals, and illumination will be close at hand. That's your eagle.
And what's interesting about the last statements there about eagle, so you see, it tells how eagle is such a high flyer and sees all and runs closer to the spirit. But when you have questions, where does it tell you to go? It tells you to go to the looks within place. And then to the looks within place, you step on the other side of the web, so to speak. And there you're asked to see with eagle's eyes again. Pretty interesting, Robert.
Agreed.
Real
Seems pretty
interesting.
appropriate. Oh, there's my kisses.
I
You
just
gotta
felt
give them to everybody.
Hello.
Okay, that's enough. Well, I don't know how he does not run out of dog spit. Ugh.
and
Keep
like
your mouth
Pappy
open
said,
for that one.
it's like Pappy says, no one is above another. Ever. The more you know, the less you know. I don't care who you are. This is a community where we're trying to strive to learn as much as possible. That's it. Take it or leave it.
And we are all on equal footing.
Exactly. This isn't a game.
And the climb is our own.
Yep.
Well, one thing to remember with cold weather coming up, okay? Now, with cold weather coming up, if you see someone without mittens, there's no problem giving them your mittens because you can put your hands in your pockets, okay? However, you know, if a person comes up and insists on putting their hands in your pockets and not take your mittens, that might be something for me to stay back away from a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting times we live in.
Robert, you going to read us about dragon?
I don't have a dragon. Do you? I don't
Uh,
have the dragon.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. No, you said red
You need this
dragons.
book. You need this book.
Oh, dragons in there?
That's the second book in that series.
Wow.
They actually have something in here on dragons, but I'm going to have to put the dog in so I can tell you about it.
Okay. Bobo. Be nice to Daddy.
All right, Gigi, honest answer. I didn't even know that anybody was supposed to be mad at you about Kansas or something. I have no idea what you're even talking about, hon.
Really?
And if you watched yesterday's show, you will understand that there's a difference between not caring for an action that was done and not caring for a person, because there is a big difference. And I thought I cleared that up yesterday. I'm hoping that I did.
Really? Drop it already. Really?
You're muted, Dorinda.
Heather, I think you answered it beautifully yesterday.
Thank you. I really was hoping that I did, but I felt the need to say more today.
Is that because of me, Heather?
No, I do
Okay.
appreciate you. I want you to know that. I love you and I appreciate you. And
I
your
appreciate
strength
you
and
as
your
well.
tenacity, your strength and tenacity come from such a beautiful place, Dorinda. And I'm telling you, honey, polished, you would shine so brilliantly that nobody'd be able to see you. You'd be so bright.
Thank you.
And there's nothing wrong with sitting on your hands for a while, listening.
I do that too here.
I know you do. You do a good job. Really, you shine more every day.
I've noticed that some people smile more when they sit on their hands than others there, Robert.
I do too. Yeah.
It's what they're doing with their hands that are making them smile.
Yeah.
Now we know where back pockets came from.
Yeah, when you get old like me, your hands tremor, you know.
Gigi, when did you go online? I never got a notification you were going online. I'm sorry. I would have been there.
So
I was waiting for you to come online.
So a good buddy of mine, he says there's a difference between listening and hearing.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's what people don't get that, Monty. People don't get it.
Simon and Garfunkel wrote a song about that.
Oh, I know. Well, not about Pappy, but yeah. So Pappy was talking about the reference in the mittens, you know, and then someone putting their hands inside your pockets while they still don't take your mittens.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like the person being in the mud, and how you said it earlier? I can't rephrase it word for word, but it's how you said it earlier, or someone did.
Yeah, the thing is, people want to get their hands. They want their hands to be warm. Okay, but they want them to be warm in their way. They want to be inside of your personal space to get their hands warm, rather than taking something from you and allowing you to go back into your own personal space. It's equivalent to having a spiritual pickpocket around or an energetic pickpocket around.
Right.
That's what I was
Sneak right in
getting
and
at.
steal your joy.
Well,
I've been checking every day, Gigi, to see if you're going live. So I'm sorry I missed it.
I was taking that as you was offering someone your, like, if I was off, anyone can offer anyone help, and then they don't take it. Instead, they still want to put their hands in your pocket or stay in the mud puddle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's how I was taking it.
Yeah, and you'll notice that there's more and more of that going on now too.
Yep.
There's so many people out there that really desire and wish and hope so much goodness for everybody else, and are willing to do whatever it takes to help them. And they get frustrated when that help is not only disregarded, or shows no value that you're offering, but are really taken aback when they're confronted because you tried to help them. They get confrontational. They're in your face, basically. They're so defensive from where they are. They're so comfortable with who they are that you're not going to change them. And at some point in time, you have to take a look at your your spiritual energy bank account, so to speak, and see whether or not you want to spend that spiritual wealth on attempting to buy something that will have no value. And that's kind of the way I see that happening. And we can see the divisions there. You're not going to ever let somebody be able to see if their eyes are wide shut all the time. And like Simon and Garfunkel wrote so many years ago, it's the sounds of silence. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and yet all around are the signs written on the subway walls and the tenement halls. Take my hand that I might reach you. Nope, don't want it. They're refusing. So what do you do when you're confronted with that group of people? Okay. The first thing that you have to do is shield your own energies and your own spirit. Once you've come to the realization that you cannot help them, okay, then do something about it to help yourself. But before you do that, you need to understand it is not your responsibility to put another person on a path. It is your responsibility to serve as a pathfinder and let others see by your actions and by your results, by example. I don't know how many times you've ever tried to grab a cat and put it someplace and tell it to stay and have it hop right back over.
It don't work.
It's like herding cats. Good luck. Okay, so that's only based on my experiences in life. Okay, and I've come to reconcile myself with accepting that. And I see people doing something or they say something, then I say to myself, well, that's probably not a path I would have taken, or something like, well, good luck with that. I'm not going
probably
to
say that a lot with me.
you're not going to be able to inform somebody about something that could be potentially hazardous to them if they can't see the hazard, if they can't understand that the hazards might be there until they experience it, and then they know. We tell our children not to put the bobby pins. Well, I don't even know if there are bobby pins anymore, but I mean, when I was growing up, my mother said the first thing, don't put that in that hole in the wall.
Don't touch that hot stove.
You don't touch the hot stove. Yeah. So, and there's some people that do have to learn that way. And there's a select few that learn by other people's wisdom and take it, as a learning experience, and they call it the wisdom of the elders, and they listen. Okay, but do you have the personal responsibility for others when Creator has given everybody free will choice? That's something to think about. Go ahead.
So it okay. So a few weeks ago, it was on a prayer-a-thon. This young man, I'd met him at the very first prayer-a-thon. He has such a compassion and a voice for the children and everything else. But this young man is autistic, right? But he also has a problem with alcohol. He finally come up to and admitted it, and opened up about it. And so he was real upset and everything. And we got him to calm down, and he was able to listen to us, And so I was talking to him and everything else. Well, his mom come up this weekend and was telling us that how he had, some troubling thoughts. I'll just put it that way. And she looked him straight in the eye, and she rebuked the demon that was in him. So she said, and then he went back to his bedroom and come back an hour or so later and said, "Mom, I need to go to the hospital. I'm not right up here, And so I'm thankful that he was able to recognize that instead of not listening to that inner voice, if you get what I'm saying, because
Absolutely,
we could.
I know firsthand.
Do you see what you did? Do you see what power that you all had?
He might not been able to rationalize with those voices inside of him, and he might not been here, because I've been in that spot.
Monty, I'm going to interrupt you, okay, because I want you to collect your thoughts for just a second, and I want you to fully experience the emotions that are going through you, because you just had a revelation, and that is this: when we care about other people sincerely, and when we attempt to try to help other people, either through our actions or through the words that we say, and we combine that with our spiritual desires for them, for the best for them, Creator takes that. And if there are things that need to be healed, they are brought up to be healed. Just like in that young fella. Okay, he first off had to take the alcoholic haze that was blocking his ears from being able to hear anything. Once that was cleaned out and he was able to hear it, and that unspoken prayer, if you will, that was sent out to Creator for healing for this young fella, then things that are need to be brought to be taken care of are brought to the surface to be taken care of. And when they're brought to the surface to be taken care of, that does not take free will choice out of it. They still have to make the choice. And therein is where the battleground is. The individual makes the choice as to which side of that battle he wants to stand on. And it sounds like he made the right choice.
Right.
You were all handing him his armor, so to speak.
Right.
Everybody has that power. Ooh, that's great.
There was a reason why. There was a reason why he was turning towards the alcohol, though, too. He is such an empath. He's an in tune. He might be more of an empath than I even maybe. He was turning towards that to block out the empathness the he has for all the children and everything, and he's got a strong compassion and a voice that the Creator has so much intense plans for him, and it's just
and so he serves as a lesson for the rest of us, and a reinforcement and a validation of things that we've learned. People will do what they can to insulate themselves from overload. Some are get sensory overload, especially if they're empathic, okay, and they feel, and they feel others. And if they have the confusion as to what is others and what is theirs. That's a learning process that they have to go through as well. And they will take things like alcohol, drugs, other forms of addiction. It doesn't
Bad
have to be
relationships, even.
chemical or whatever, and it's that their way of insulating themselves from that. Okay. It doesn't make the problem go away. It changes the date that it's going to reappear, is all it does.
Absolutely. It's like a Band-Aid.
But again, it's free will.
Mm-hmm. That's why, I always say, the hardest thing for anybody to do is to really critically look at themselves and swallow that pill of truth.
Yep.
And when they do that, that's when you humble yourself. That's when you realize that, yes, I've been given certain strengths and everything through my life and all my teachings and all that sort of stuff. But when it comes right down to it, I'm nothing but a meat bag with a mind. If I need help and I can't help myself, where do I go for help? You go back to source. You go back to where the miracle originated from. And then pull on that power. That way, once you realize that, once you've humbled yourself, you get to that point of the darkest hour of your life when you were absolutely helpless. That's when you're willing to drop all the humility, drop all the ego, drop all the pride, and call out and lift your hand up and say, help me.
Absolutely. I still remember, okay, so the year and a half towards the last of my active addiction, I still remember asking God. I didn't ask him daily, but I was like, please just help me get rid of this this disease. And so when I got out of jail and I was going to my buddy's NA meeting for about the first couple of weeks, and then finally I did it fully. I just was like, Lord, just here, I'm powerless is how I came to admit it, and I just said, I'm powerless. I need your help. Totally. I'm just releasing everything, and that's how I can best describe it. I don't have a way with words.
Well, I'm giggling not because it's funny. I'm giggling because I can fully relate to what you're saying, Monty. Okay, I want to point out, okay, as much as you're experiencing those feelings and everything, then, okay, and you're experiencing them again, when you were absolutely helpless, and when I was absolutely helpless in some of the situations that I've had in my life, I've had more than one. That's when Creator showed me how truly powerful I was, when I thought I had no power. And at that moment, that darkest moment, when you made that decision and you did what you did, you were more powerful than any of the forces of darkness at that time. And that's the power that everyone has. They just have to be able to find it. It isn't going to be joyful to go through it to find it sometimes, because it's shocking. But you come outside of it, the other side, an absolutely reborn different person.
And the time in that doorway is different for everybody.
That's right. You come out refined, you come out transmuted, transmorphed, whatever you want to call it. You're different. You might look the same in the mirror.
Kind of like kind of like hardening steel, like on a knife after you put it in the fire.
Yeah.
You know, you come out,
You got to temper it so it don't break.
Yep. You come out and you're more forged. I'm telling you what, I'm still in awe and amazement of the powers of the Creator, and I can never be humble enough. I will absolutely say that right now. It just amazes me of the power of him, and just in the power that he works. You know what I'm saying? It's just.
Well, there's opposing powers to everything. There's powers out there that try to oppose that. But I'm one to always look for the wisdom in anything. So people that are going to Creator in your whatever terminology or methodology you want to use or dogma that you want to follow or whatever, intent is the key. Okay. Destination that you're sending your intent to is the key. And then you can listen to the old song, bend me, shape me any way you want to. Long as you love me, it's all right. And that's the key word, love. Love will allow your life to be bent, shaped any way the Creator wants to do it. As long as he loves you, go with the flow. If he wants to shape you into a spittoon and spit a big old cut of red man into you, or Yankee girl, or brown mule, or one of them other chewing tobaccos, hey, say thank you, Lord.
I don't think I've ever heard of brown mule.
Oh, that was a plug chew. You had to cut a piece off with a knife. Kind of tasted like probably the south end of a northbound mule too.
I was at a cigarette company.
Let my dogs back in. I'll be right back.
I was down at a cigarette company, and they had a little rectangle cut of chaw that I remember seeing. It was dark as heck. And I was like, oh, that's what that stuff looks like.
Yeah, that's some pretty powerful stuff there. I remember them too.
Hey, Katie Uncorked. I love pugs.
Love Pug. Hello.
I just want to say how appreciative I am of everyone I've come in our village. So
I want to say something that Heather said yesterday. When you bring stuff out, anyone who brings things out like this, Crystal did it the other day. When you put that to the feet of the Creator to resolve, to pray on, you got to let it go. If you don't let it go, it doesn't go nowhere. You put it at the feet of the Creator, then you pick it back up again and walk away from it. That is not healing. Healing is throwing it and leaving it.
Letting go.
Believing that.
Yes. Wasn't that right,
fixed.
Heather?
Knowing. It's a knowing. It's that's where faith is. Once you've laid this broken toy down in front of the Creator and ask him to fix it, right? You lay this broken toy right at his feet and you say, you made this, so I know you can fix this, even though it's pretty broken up. So I know that you can fix this because you're the one that made it. And you turn around and you walk away, the complete and total faith that it will be done because it can be.
Right.
There's where your faith comes into play there. And that's yet another step because, a lot of people have trouble taking the toy to him in the first place. And then others have trouble letting go of it so it can be fixed. See what I mean?
Yeah. You can't put it there and grab it.
At each stage, there's a choice to make. Every step you take to go through that doorway to learn those lessons, it's all knowing that you're going to come out the other side, no matter how big that doorway is, no matter how long it seems. Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Don't drive off a cliff, B-Dog. Pay attention to the road.
Yeah, my stepson wasn't so lucky. He didn't have the arm to reach out. Only thing he reached out for was his 9mm and crammed it up his fucking, shot himself in the fucking head.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry, brother.
Definitely sorry.
But we had to learn to let it go. Good energy doesn't disappear. Doesn't it's everywhere. That's the only thing that keeps us going.
I read something, or I came across something the other day, and I I don't know the source of it. I'm sorry, but it's worth mentioning here. Um, that some souls have just enough remembering that they have a very, very hard time in the plane that we're in when we come back, for this wonderful human experience with all its ups and downs and tragedies and miracles, which, by the way, happen every day. Every day. Some souls yearn to be back home so much, yearn to become part of the source again so much that they cannot take the experience. So count yourself blessed that you've been strong enough to endure this experience thus far, and hopefully you found the bright spots along the way. Right? I don't say that to make anybody sad or to bring down the vibe. Uh-oh, lost Pappy.
Actually, it sounded positive. At least I took it as positive.
I know that there are a lot of conflicting beliefs about people who commit suicide, but that is the one. It shook me to hear it put that way, but it helped me to see it put that way. And so I thought perhaps that's where a lot of mental illness and things like that might come from too, right? Um, we know how many uh, very special people with what most people call handicaps that shine so bright and are such beautiful souls that you literally can bask in their presence, and it's trapped in a body that can't communicate well with you because it's so much higher. I don't think they're disabled at all. I think they're more evolved in certain ways.
Yep.
And you guys know I'm talking about people who are autistic and all the other, you know, I see. You have no idea how. My brother used to do Special Olympics every year. Okay, so uh, I have spent my entire life around people whose energy blazes so brilliantly that you've never seen the likes of it. Right? Go to a Special Olympics and tell me all them souls in there are not the most beautiful souls you've ever seen. You have to look past these skin sacks,
Yep.
Um, and as we
Yep.
look at each other, I don't remember, Robert, if it was you or Pappy the other day that had said, I think it was Pappy, about seeing the energy around people. And that energy, that medicine, if you will, is constantly changing, and it grows with us, you know? So you remember that Marvel character, the hero? I think she was like the first black chick hero, but she was drawn into those comics eons ago, like before I was born, or right around when I was born. And she had a pendant that helped her call on the strength or whatever attribute she needed from a certain animal. And she could change into the energy pattern of that animal. So she could have gorilla strength or stampeding elephant, or whatever she needed, she could call upon that. And to me, when you guys do the medicine cards and different things like that, it sure feels like that to me. It's like we are being given a key to unlock something that we need from that this animal can give us, right? That some
Yep.
attribute of this animal can give us. And last night, I got to play with my dog.
Awesome.
I miss him terribly.
Yes, I know, Heather.
I'm sorry, Heather.
but it was joyful for me. It was very uplifting, and there was things that I needed to learn, that I needed to hear. So like when we're reading this stuff, when Robert and Pappy put forth these teachings to help us, it's not just a cute story. There's some medicine there.
Yeah.
There's something that we can utilize, that we are being gifted. And it'll help us also maybe see a clearer connection to all of our relations.
And I'm gonna tell you, one time I come to this state of mind where we were talking about these Special Olympic people. I went to this dirt store to buy some dirt. This guy come up with this little girl. She came right to me. Okay, I don't call it disabled. No, these kids are not disabled. They're not whatever. These are labels. This little girl came to me. Her father was right behind her, and she started a conversation with me. That's what I say. If you're walking the walk, people will see you. You will be glowing. That little girl saw something in me. Her father said she has never walked up to any person and talked to them. And I said, because she knows that I understand her. And he says she has this type of disability. And I said, sir, she is a star child. That is the bottom line. That's all I have to say about this. And I continued on talking to her, and he was in total amazement, and so was I, because that touched me from that day to today. Just that little child. It wasn't no little girl. This was a child, just old enough to wear a dress. But she came to me, and she's never done that before. That touched me so severely. That's what changed my way of looking at things.
I've had that happen to me at Walmart.
It's the two worlds, being in two worlds. See,
the kids are with their parents and they don't normally talk to strangers.
Right.
But I'm there making fun and laughing and giggling with them and the whole 9 yards. And this one child started a conversation with me, and the mother just stood there with her mouth hanging open.
Yep.
And she goes, she never does that. She doesn't talk to people. You are the first person she's talked to. So every time she comes in the store, I make sure I go over and I say hello and I ask her how she's doing. And she always smiles at me. And some days she talks and some days she doesn't. But that's okay too. But it made me feel real good.
I know the feeling you get is unexplainable.
Yep.
That's spirit talking. When that happens, that's spirit talking. Period.
Yeah.
It talks through you right to them children.
Yep.
Absolutely.
There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind whatsoever. And that's what it takes. No doubt. None of this is possible. I don't care who's in the audience listening. If you have doubt in your head, none of this is possible. None of it. None of it. You may think so, but no. You have to remove all doubt You step into both worlds. Like Pappy says, look at both sides of the spider web. Keep your tether attached, just like Spider, and you'll do fine.
Yeah.
I always like that. What if you had no fear? You could step boldlessly, just so boldly, just step out because you have no fear.
That's me these days. No fear.
Yeah, that's what I said that on
Stepping
Heather's
out
channel.
of
I'm tired of holding back, and I'm not going to do it no more. Really, I've experienced enough to know this stuff is real.
Yeah. You're a very wise soul there, Robert. And so are you, Monty.
It's just it's a process. It's not. It's not.
awesome.
I'll
That's awesome, Dito.
Every one of you is very special
Thank you.
in your own unique ways, you know. And I appreciate and I love you all.
We appreciate
We
you as well,
appreciate and love
Monty.
you too. Why don't
We
we
love you too.
wrap up with some final thoughts? Pappy's stirring his beans, I think, or at least that's what I think he's doing.
Feeding the dog cat food.
So who's driving? Deplorable Chicken Head said we were all going to Pappy's to eat because he got a big old pot of soup over there.
I think he's taste testing.
Yeah, I bet he is.
I thought that was Bo and Kai's job. Well, why don't we go around and have some final thoughts and for the day, and because I'm going to have to get dinner on here real soon too.
Oh, so we're headed to your house after Pappy's, huh?
I don't got a big old pot of beans on. But if y'all were picking me up, then let's go.
I think
They ought to
you're
be
on
there
the
by
way.
the time we get there. If there's anything left by the time we get there. All right. Well, let's go bottom row. Who wants to go first?
Go ahead, Monty.
Final thoughts is always walk in the light. Don't try and let the dark encompass you, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I know sometimes that's harder. It's easier said than done, but the Creator always gives you a way, a pathway of light to walk on. And so, I don't know. I have a hard time of trying to put it in words.
You're doing a great job.
So
Absolutely.
it's yeah, but then there's times I have those brain farts when I lose my thought.
Well,
So-
we all have that.
We do that all the time.
Pappy say about beans, right? The more you eat, the more you. No, beans does sound good.
That's what my dad used to say. Beans, beans, magical fruit. More
Yep.
you eat, more you eat.
I just want to say it again. Thank you, Pappy. Thank you, everybody else up on panel. Much love and light. I appreciate y'all.
All right.
And thank you for
That's
coming up.
That's my final thoughts.
All right.
I had to put in the sound effects for the bean soup.
What I'm going to say is we must always shine. We must always be positive, caring, and kind. And that's what we have to do. And spread the love. Just spread the love. And everybody have a great day, and I love you all.
We love you too. Thanks for coming up, Dorinda.
No problem. Thanks for
Just
dropping
in
the
case you
link when I
want to.
showed up.
Happy said beans are ready.
I think I'm freezing up on my end. Crystal, you go ahead. Is she even still with us? Are you still with us?
Not sure. She's muted, so I don't know.
Don't know.
All right.
Well, I'll say, try to carry a ray of sunshine in your heart today.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Wow, that's the first time anybody's listened to me in a long time when I tell them to do something.
We listen to you all the time, Anna.
You're silly. You know we listen.
Do you know why you do that? Because it comes back to you tenfold, hundredfold. Be kind to people. Give them your gloves. Don't let them stick your hand in your pocket, but give them gloves.
If I was fishing, they'd probably come out with worms if I was a little bit younger.
Keep the worms in the pot.
Keep your spirits high, everybody. Keep your eye on both sides of that spider web. Keep your tether attached. Love you all.
Have a great day, everybody.
I have no idea what Pappy's final wise words would be today, but I'm going to say this, and I'm going to wrap it right back around to the beginning, to the ego entanglement. Okay? Be aware within yourselves which energy is winning. Just be aware of which energy you're going to feed. And we all struggle with this. Remember, I'm only talking from personal experiences. Okay? Just be aware. And so, friendly reminder.
Yeah.
Are you going to feed the dragon or are you going to feed the bear? I know not everybody's got a bear, but
I do.
well, you know, it could be another animal.
I got an extra one if you
Y'all
need
knew
one.
what I was talking about. I want to say this, and any of you who are not listening to us anymore because of one day, and that are sitting on their hands listening in the background because they don't really want to listen, but they want to listen. I want to say this, and I want you to know that I really truly mean this from the bottom of my heart. I thank the Creator for each and every one of you, and I do love and appreciate each and every one of you. Don't forget to tell people how much you love them and appreciate them. And feed that bear.
Yup.
Thank you.
Have a great
We
day.
love y'all.
We love you, Heather.
Yeah, have a great day.
I
Love
love
y'all.
Love you guys.
Love each
Thanks,
other.
everybody.
I love you all too.
Have a good day, everybody.